All right, let's make sure everything's working first. There we go. All right, excellent. Well, fuck you too. Oh, I mean, good morning, everyone. This is Thursday, the 14th of April. 14th of April, and yes, everything is actually my fault this time. Right down to the parts that aren't my fault because I could have prevented it. So, yeah, Squatch, everything is definitely my fault this time. And Troll, I know most people can't make the live anyway because I scheduled it for Thursday mornings during the start of the pandemic, not realizing there really would be something resembling an end to the crisis. All right. That kind of brings me to macro rant number one. Don't lie to me. Once I know you're a liar, I can never ever trust you because I know you'll lie to me again. All right. And it's not a lie to say something that is not correct. If you have been taught your entire life what I know is the color blue, what Troll knows is the color blue, and what Squatch knows is the color blue, and you've been told your entire life that's called yellow, okay. You said the sky is yellow. I get it. It's not a lie. I'm not going to call that out. Hi, Ozzy. Oh, for fuck's sake. See, this is how bullshit the day is. I forgot something really basic. Pop out chat. Share screen. Windows. Yeah, that one. I'm going to try something a little new this week, guys. Work with me, see if this works. Hey, whoa, Totes is back. And no, Totes, you'd actually be a half an hour late, but I fucked up. This whole week has been bullshit. Where was I on this rant? Oh, yeah, if you've been told your entire life that blue is called yellow, it's not a lie. I'm over it. But if you change your story just because it happens to fit some other thing, you are lying to me, and I'm going to hold a grudge. I hold grudges better than anybody I've ever met. I've got a grudge from when I was about 5 years old. Kid hit me in the eye with a snowball. Okay. Carrie, you're that mad about that? No, I'm mad about the rock in the snowball. That's what I'm still mad about. All right. I can fix any problem on earth if I just have the truth, okay? There is a current problem involving extreme violence, and I could fix the problem if people were just telling the truth. It's really that simple. Okay, that's the end of my Don't Lie to Me rant. I'm going to move on to the next subject, which is not going to be Musk, but I'll put it in towards the end. After I apologize to everybody, this week is going to be on the short side. Like I said, I fucked up, and because of the way I scheduled my life, I actually do have to be off by 10:00. So it's only going to be an hour and a half. Moving on. 917. Oh no, Carrie's boring us with this crap again. Carrie, why do you bring this up so often? Because it's coming. And this week we saw a macro version. Now, I have every confidence on earth at A. This guy's never heard of it. Never heard of me. Never heard of 9017. Has no idea. He just came up with this idea entirely on his own, right down to using the smoke grenades. I'm not. I got some real questions. Smoke grenade, or maybe smoke bombs? Um, were they actually smoke bombs? Because there are fireworks out there that just create a shit ton of smoke. Um, were they maybe modified somehow, or did they just malfunction somehow and created a lot of smoke? I have no idea. Nobody knows. Well, nobody's going to know for quite some time. Um, and that's I'm okay with that. But exactly the sort of thing that I said would happen happened. Contained environment, mass confusion, the smoke, shooting, and let's just put this where it is. Apparently racist uh, uh, victim profile. He was targeting white people. Yeah. Um, I'm sorry. The security camera footage tells us that was the whitest crowd I've ever seen in my life. Those people are whiter than I am. Okay, maybe not saying as much as I thought it did a year ago, but moving or year and a half ago, but moving right along. Um, Everything that I said would happen when 9017 happened did, except for the scale, the size of the crowd, and the the fact that this is an isolated incident rather than multiple incidents all at the same time. All right. This is about why you should be supporting mandatory carry and not some other theory. All right. Let's start with gun control. That didn't work, right? Forget about the fact that he got the gun legally 11 years ago, right? Forget about the fact that he could have bought the gun on the black market. That's not relevant. Simple fact of the matter is, he could have made it himself. The mafia did it back in the 1980s. Got in a whole bunch of trouble because they had a factory that was supposed to be shut down. Everybody was laid off. And here it is up and running. And people wanted to know why. Um, but an even better example exists out of Jalisco, Mexico, in which an M16 factory was turning out probably around 200 to 300 guns per month. I believe it would have been month. Um, and God knows where those are now. I have no clue. Even if they were using kits that they bought somewhere, which they really don't have to do, but they could have been. Um, there's a few thousand M16s running around somewhere in Mexico, and God knows where they are. But that's nothing because the uh, Brazilian cartels, in particular, had a factory literally in the middle of the forest that was so good, was producing a product of such high quality. And that's the part you should be really scared about. That once everything else was done, a large number, and I've seen varying numbers, so I'm going to go with half for now, were actually set aside and given to Policia Nacional as backup guns. Oh me, oh my. This camp really was producing MAC 10s that were good enough to be issued to government officials. If that doesn't scare you, then nothing on earth will, and you're an idiot. No, this was not a Fast and Furious. This was a totally different thing, Ozzy, but I did catch that. All right, catch up on the chat. Um Ozzy says, changing your mind with new facts found. That is growth. Refusing to change your mind when presented with new evidence is a problem. Yeah. Uh, okay. So Ozzy also says, one thing I believe, using mass violence to solve mass violence, probably a bad idea. That would be true. And that's actually one of the reasons why there are certain restrictions on my proposal. You can't just walk into Walmart and walk out with an M16 and a grenade launcher. Right? That's not how it works either. But you could theoretically walk into a Walmart, buy an AR-15. If you have a previous background, a previous file with NCIC, practically walk out. And that's the way it is, or that's the way it'll be. What do you want me to say? All right. Totes says, my fear, more capable radicals will do it the right way. I'm not exactly sure what he means by the right way. So I'm going to go with my best guess, which is that they'll be making guns in workshops in the middle of Napa Valley. Not that I know of any such thing. There's like 5 of them on Two Rock Road that I know about. Okay. I know I talk about one in particular from time to time, but that one is listed with ATF. It's an actual ATF licensed facility. The other 5, the 5 are not. Ozzy again. Now targeted and proportional response I can accept as a premise. Well, yeah. Uh, this was not a Fast and Furious. The Jalisco case was not Fast and Furious. These were at least the lower receiver, which under U.S. law is the gun. They were manufactured themselves from 0% billet. 0%, no nothing. It was just a block of aluminum. It was about 3 inches by about 6 inches by about 4 inches. Perfectly square, or maybe not even perfectly square, and they had to square it up to start. Ozzy, if random violence could solve it, why is gang warfare still a thing? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to assume that I'm standing corrected here. Toad says, I was talking about the Brooklyn shooter, and his previous comment was more capable radicals. So maybe he's talking about tactics. And he'd probably be right, because the tactics are improving every single time something happens. I could see that things were going this direction not later than the Northwest Detention Center. The guy brought some kind of attempt at an explosive device. He was going to put it next to the gas tanks to create an even bigger explosion. So clearly somebody somewhere is thinking. Ozzy, I don't know what caused the end. I have no idea. This could actually have been maybe it was a jam and he just didn't know how to clear the jam. That would actually make a lot of sense. Maybe he choked. Maybe a million other things. I don't know. Maybe he thought everybody was dead and chose to stop shooting. I don't know. All right. Either way, um, what good did New York's gun control laws do on the subway? No, really. New York has the second strictest concealed carry laws in the country after New Jersey, but it's not that far ahead of California and Washington's concealed carry laws. Like I think California is getting ready to try to exceed New York, and they're closing in on New Jersey pretty quickly. Papa Carey tells me that no mandate is going to mandate anyway a new requirement that you have concealed carry insurance. California's concealed carry laws were already fucked up when I was in high school. All right. And now they want to make it worse. And it's been getting worse. At least since I left the state. So I don't understand. Explain this to me. Use very small words. If what you're doing isn't working, why are you still doing it? Or as Albert Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You do it over and over again, you're going to get either the exact same result or a bigger result. Ironically enough, there's an episode of Star Trek Next Generation that kind of touched on this subject a little bit. They were talking about bigger issues than gun control. Oh, as a matter of fact, I think it was the backdrop of the Yugoslavian Civil War. In it, this ship is destroyed. There's only one survivor, and the kid is lying to them. The kid is lying to them. All right. He's not telling them something. Well, he's telling them a crazy ass story that can't possibly be true. Aliens in purple suits with this big ship. Right? Now a situation has begun to develop. Captain Picard turns to the kid and says, "Son, I need to know the truth. What really happened?" He says, "I killed them. I destroyed the ship." What? The kid had convinced himself or thought somehow that he'd set the self-destruct mechanism as he dove under the computer console or something. And no, we can solve this problem now that we know the truth. It wasn't you. There's no way you did this. That's not possible. This was something else. You just happened to touch a button. Don't worry about that. And as the episode progresses, they start doing the same experiment that the other ship had done. And they get this reflection of an energy signal back. They keep raising their shields and raising it and raising it. And the kid says, "That's what they said too." I think it was the Vico. I'm going to go with Vico because that's the name that comes to mind. They said that on the Vico too. They said that on the Vico? Come with me. Data sits there and he starts pounding on the keyboard. And he turns to the captain and says, "Captain, lower the shields." Okay, drop the shields. This huge wave comes barreling through. It's going to destroy everything in known existence. It passes right over them harmlessly. Because what they'd been doing, they kept doing and doing over and over and over again, was making the situation worse. Okay, I'm going to catch up on the chat. Fair to ask, what happens when someone who actually has been trained and knows how to take care of them and has backups? Well, that's happened before. So they just keep on going. In particular, Pulse nightclub. He was witnessed to be working the gun like a jam or something and then went right back to what he was doing. Heard 107 laws, murder. I'm not sure what Heard 107 refers to. And no, you know what? Murder has not always been illegal. There was once upon a time when we were cavemen and there were no laws at all. I'd like to think we evolved a little bit past that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, Ozzy is asking, can you shoplift guns and ammo under $900 in California? No. That's one thing. Even if the DA makes a plea deal, you're not going home with those guns, right? The cops will come after you. And once they know you exist, they will keep an eye on you. Totes, and Totes is going to take special note of how I respond here. I used to not care about the Second Amendment, but the last 2 years have woke me to fuck up. I used to not actually give a damn one way or the other about the gay community. I didn't. It wasn't a thing to me, right? That I'm straight. It's as simple as that. Pulse nightclub woke me up to that community. What? He did what? In a where? And ever since then, I've been a lot more gay and lesbian friendly. Ozzy, I still don't know this 107 gun laws in the U.S. Maybe you're referring to there being 107 federal gun laws? And Jesus, yeah, it sounds like a lot, and it actually kind of isn't. So moving right along, gun control did absolutely nothing in New York. It made the situation worse because now only one person has a gun. Whether he bought it legally in Ohio 11 years earlier, or he bought it off the black market, or he made it at home, or whatever else, doesn't matter. He was the only one who had a gun. At the end of the day, that is the truth. And that's what I got to fix. Oh, okay. I stand corrected. Thank you, Ozzy. Okay, 107 laws in one state. It's a little more impressive. Where was I? 107 gun laws just for New York, just state laws apparently. Did nothing to make it better. It only made it worse. I'm going to go a little bit further. Now the mayor of New York, I believe it was, is talking about putting security systems onto the subway. What part of this didn't work last time did you not listen to? Okay. The theory. Oh, I just used a bad word. I'm sorry, folks. But the theory is that you put up metal detectors or something else, and there is something else. There's a whole lot of else out there. Some of which work so much better than metal detectors, it's not even funny. Along the passageways to the trains. Now, even if you put the proper turnstiles in, which I've never been to New York, I don't know. But the turnstiles I think of don't stop anybody. And if turnstile jump is such a common thing in the New York subway system that it actually got a special place of honor on Law and Order back in the 90s. Probably more like the ones I'm thinking of. All right. But let's just pretend for the moment that proper turnstiles are put in. So what? There is, for every one public access way, there's at least 4 private access ways that involve workers, right? There's generator rooms, there's transformers, there's equipment maintenance yards. There is so many private access ways. You can't protect everything. You can't protect anything, really. And then there's all the places where the trains come above ground. Homeless people living in the subway sewer, New York's subway system, is so common that they actually have a special name. I forgot what it was. I want to say subway rats. I'm just going to say subway rats because it's an available term right now. How are they getting in? It's actually illegal for them to be there, and yet they are, and they are living there long term, not just an overnight camp or something. They're down there and they're staying there. How are you going to stop people from coming in the same way? We're all very, very lucky that the New York case ended the way it did. First of all, nobody died, or at least nobody had died as of the last I heard, which was very, very late last night. No trains were wrecked. Y'all don't realize just how lucky we are that he didn't shoot a control system on that train and cause it to wreck and kill everybody. He's been caught, and that's actually another lucky break, because if he was following New York law, he would have had a mask on. How do you identify that? Now they're saying the U-Haul. The U-Haul. They tracked him. They found out who he was through the U-Haul. Bitch, getting a fake ID is easier than saying the words. All right. Of my personal circle, okay, of the people that I work with, around 45 people that I deal with professionally, either for the hydroponic farm or at my own work, my paying job. About 45 people. 15 of them I know have fake IDs because they told me, and 2 of them have shown me their fake IDs. One, it's a real ID, all right? It's her sister's ID, and the only way to tell the 2 of them apart, I've seen the ID, and holy shit, right? The only way to tell the 2 of them apart quickly is by fingerprint. Yeah, nobody uses fingerprints like that. So, what stops her from going and renting a U-Haul for ulterior motives? I see that the chat is moving, guys, and I'm not ignoring you. Oh, I saw that. So last time I'm going to ask, all those gun laws did what good? Now, shit post with me for a second. Just consider this. What if everybody else on that train, or at least 3/4 of them, were also armed? I have a theory that the first time it happens, everybody's going to panic a little bit, and they're going to fucking blow up part of the train in the process. Okay, that happened. The second time it happens, because people have now become acclimated acclimatized to the idea. 2, maybe 3 of them are going to open fire, and the rest are going to be, wait, wait, wait. What? Okay, don't shoot, wait. Their guns are all pointed in the same direction. They're all probably looking at the same guy. The third time will be the last time that anything like this happens. Because by then, every sane and rational person, which this guy must be some degree of sane, will realize that that's not going to work. I'll get back to that in a second. There won't be a third shooting. All right. Small aside, this was not a mass shooting. A mass shooting has no defined purpose, just shooting for the fucking hell of it. All right? This was a terror attack. This was somebody who wanted to instill fear and terror into the people. And you know what? It kind of worked. Hell, I live in Reno, Nevada. And I'm kind of concerned. That's the truth. Yes, it's Reno, Nevada versus New York. But that doesn't change enough. Okay, Ozzy, unfun fact, criminals don't care that it's illegal. Already has cops in their subway system. I'm going to come back to that. Watched a video by New York City realtors. Vaccines are up, especially in commercial district. Could certainly make dorm living accommodations in those empty buildings. Vacancies are especially up. Ozzy, you almost read my mind. The bad guy in the subway wore a gas mask. Okay, I want to address the mask first. I don't know that to be true. That's as simple as that. I don't know that to be true. I can imagine it might be, and I'm not even if it's not true, Ozzy, you're not lying. You're saying what you believe to be true. Good enough. And it didn't change anything. Whether it's a face diaper or a gas mask, his face was still covered. How do you identify him? Okay, the other one about the cops in the subway system. Even if you did literally put a cop, hell, let's make it 2 cops, following every single person around 24 hours a day. You're not going to stop people from doing bad things. There will always be somebody out there who hates you enough that they're ready to die to kill you. It's as simple as that. And on the subject of vacancies, and actually one of these days, Totes, I want to get you in here and talk about this. Most people think that I'm some sort of arch right-wing conservative anti-socialist type. Here's a fun fact. I am also pod home all by myself. There's Fix Bayonets, who's an admin on the Facebook page, is not an admin on pod home. I do that all by myself. Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, Ozzy brings this up. Armed people did stop an armed bad guy in a church a few years back, a southeast state. God damn it. It was just before the White church shooting. No. It was White church. Guy walks in with a gun, and he did shoot some people. Somebody in the chat correct me. I believe one person was killed, other than the shooter. I believe one person was killed, and then they lit him up so bright. He was almost at the point where the only way they were going to identify him was DNA. That's how many bullets they pumped into him. There's actually a meme out there somewhere, a screenshot of the security camera. Gun, 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 gun. All over the fucking place. Flag on the play. Only one person actually shot. One or two actually shot the shooter. Very next one was not White Church. It was the one with the two heroes. I remember I was very confused for a while until I realized what had actually happened. The shooting was at the chapel across the street from this guy's house. He grabbed his gun. The shooter's running away in a minivan. He flags somebody down. The two of them take off and chase him. He, to the best of my knowledge, he never actually fired a shot. The guy wrecked out. This was the dishonorable discharge Air Force guy. He wrecked out. He died right then and there because he was being chased by a guy with a truck. The engine block alone probably weighed as much as his minivan, with the passenger who has a gun. I wonder why he ran. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ozzy. I screwed that up. I did that on my own. Oh, I don't want to watch those videos, Totes. I've had enough that kind already. Thank you. Moving right along, guys. Imagine the world where White Church, no, not White Springs, that was it, is the universal constant as opposed to New York subway. How would White Springs have ended? Nobody would have gotten out of there alive. Or if they did, very few, very, very far between, are very, very lucky. Versus New York, where the only reason anybody got out alive is bad luck for the guy. Okay, folks. Don't do something that you know is in just purely intentionally cruel. Okay. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Disrespectful. That's absolutely ridiculous there. All right. I would never have disrespected somebody else's chapel like that. I don't. Actually, I do, and I don't want to talk about that. I know what would cause you to do something like that, and that guy's got issues, and I'm just going to leave it at that. All right. Now, Here's an interesting question that was posed on Instagram. Oh, I wish I thought to bring that up. Okay. Oh, maybe I still can. Give me a second, guys. Yes, I know it's running a window. Damn it! Please don't tell me what air. All right, let's see if I can still find it. You know, one of these days I'm gonna have my shit together and be ready. Um, because I don't know exactly how. Can I move that? Oh, good. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So I'm going to bring up a different window, and I'm not ignoring you guys, but I will have to check the chat in a minute. Share screen. Edge tab. Edge sucks, by the way. I'm just saying Instagram. Okay, share that instead. Make sure everything's on track. It didn't look like it. Well, it's too late now. All right. Defending the Second Amendment. It's time to play offense. Yeah, I can't download this video. I'm sorry. Right. I'm going to ask y'all for a dumb question. What's playing offense more than making it law that you had to do something that other people are trying to stop you from doing? Think about it like this, because there's at least one person out there who does think like this. What would block abortion laws more than mandatory breeding? Now, I would never advocate in favor of mandatory breeding because there might be a reason you're not breeding, and that's okay. That's not my place to say. But when it comes to something that can affect a lot of people very quickly, might be my place to say something. Correction, it really, really is. All right. Contrast is, I don't want to go there. If it's not my faith, I don't go. Simple as that. Totes, you should actually at least consider learning some basics of the other faiths. I'm going to leave it at that. And apparently 720p is still better than 140p. Fuck if I know. And I actually understand what he's saying there. And the fuck if I know. Okay, Ozzy. That's an interesting point. And he's not lying. Or more to the point, a lot of people have made the same observation. And to be perfectly blunt, so have I. All right, so moving right along. You're required by law to have a fire extinguisher in your home. All right, that's actually law. Where I work, we have fire extinguishers. Where I work, we have fire extinguishers next to every door as well. Your home, you're only required to have it in the galley in case of a grease fire. Okay, or well, a galley fire. So I'm kind of wondering, for those of you that say mandatory carry would be unconstitutional, you'd think by now that they would know better than to try that one with me, but they still do. Hey, Luke. Oh, fuck. Guys, and Luke arriving now is an example of how badly I fucked up today. Um, so no, Luke, you are not late. I'm, and you can ask Squatch. He noticed it too. Um, anyway, as I was saying, uh, explain to me and use small words. Not because I won't understand this, what you're saying. It's because I want you to understand what you're saying. How mandatory carry would be unconstitutional. And then explain to me how a constitutional amendment is unconstitutional. Right. Oh. Um, um, Totes and Ozzy are trolling me, and I deserve it, about that mandatory breeding thing. Um, yeah, I totally deserve that one, guys. But it's another extreme example of something, other extreme examples that have been floating around out there. And actually, I think Luke might be able to testify to this mandatory speech shit post that somebody threw out there. And the weird part is, I said, you know what? If you can give me a proposal, I'll hear it out. Which was an example of me being a whole lot more honest than that guy. By the way, hi, League. I know you're out there somewhere. Probably going to watch it on rerun, but. Okay, Ozzy points out making people do things is anti-ethical. There's some truth to that. All right. There's also not entirely true. We make people do certain things all the time, either as a result of one action that they want to do, or as a result of something that they don't necessarily want. You have to pay your taxes, right? Or you go to prison. You don't have to drive, but if you want to drive, you have to get a driver's license. Just throwing it out there. Making you do something that is against your faith within some real serious constraints. I agree. That's why there's a conscientious objector exemption to mandatory carry, and you don't pay for the conscientious objector exemption. That's free. If you can go through the hoops to get the exemption, God bless you. Go and don't start sinning now. Why did you buy a boat? Oh, sorry, guys. Ozzy, I hope you have a second deck door. Oh, Gary knows a few things, doesn't he? Moving right along. Where was I? I cannot think of any more offense than actually having the Constitution amended so that you go from a right to keep and bear to a duty to keep and bear. I have not seen Squatch in a minute, so if you're still out there, say something. Okay, well, use that window carefully. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. I don't think that was a lucky guess, Ozzy. If you can catch American weather channels, it would seem much more likely. Moving right along. All right. So, New York was another example of somebody who did exactly the same mental process that I did to get to 9017, just individually by himself. We're seeing it happening more and more and more. And these are lone wolf actors. Okay, great, fine. Uh, that means the damage will be contained to one city. If there is any way of putting people who would come up with these ideas together, even as parent lone wolves, they can do a whole lot more damage very, very quickly. And all they would have to do is start talking to each other on 4chan or Reddit or Discord, Facebook for all that, yeah, and Twitter for all the difference it makes, and say, it would really blank, 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 blank to encode the message so that they would start talking to each other, and then it's a matter of timing. What year do we do it? We would need to do it sooner. No, we need to do it later. No, we come to some sort of agreement. Uh, love you, Susan. All right. I'm going to say something else about lying to me, even though I promised I was past that by now. I've been pissing a few people off, and fuck them. Don't lie to me. It's not that hard a concept, but a couple of people have pointed out to me that I might be a little bit carrying it a little bit far, and Papa Carrie's one of them. Not everybody that says something I don't like is lying to me. I know that. I don't need to be told something as obvious as that. But and there's an individual that I have now completely disassociated myself from. He lied to me. It's about something pretty ridiculous. It's so petty. He didn't need to lie. He could have just told the truth. He chose to tell a lie instead. Where was I going with this? Because I got mad. Damn it. That's why I need Squatch in here. Somebody to hold my leash and keep me on topic. Right. Actually, kind of quasi independently of everybody. I did start to understand that what he said was not necessarily a lie, a damned lie, and nothing but a lie. There has been a trend in the media, mainly, that certain people are going to lie to us about everything. They go out of their way to make up any lie they can. And, well, we've been getting gaslit. Now, I know some of you are going to say, oh, it all started in early 2020. No, it did not start in early 2020. Over the duration of this lie, that was a pretty significant bump, but it was just a bump that took it up to a new plateau. Right? It had been going on for a very, very long time before that. About 4 years at that point. And, oh, no, about 6 years at that point. Excuse me. Really, no, much, much longer than that. But we'll talk about that some other time. About 6 years before that, it started accelerating very quickly. And then we hit 2020 and it bumped hard and then plateaued again. We are so used to getting lied to about everything that at this point, we're programmed to think that everything is a lie. We've been have it beaten into our heads that if you hear it on the news, it's not true. And then your brain goes automatically looking for the truth. Going to the boy who cried wolf analogy. The boy who cried wolf, he cries wolf, wolf, and there's actually a wolf, or there's no wolf, right? You come, you see there's no wolf. This time you're pissed. He cries wolf, wolf again. And this time, rather than come looking for the wolf, you come and beat the boy. Okay. Meanwhile, there really is a wolf at the edge of the field. Or maybe the wolf is actually in the flock. You're so used to being lied to that even when it is the truth, not only because you looked last time, there was no wolf. You didn't come last time to look for the wolf. Excuse me. This time he's saying it again. You come to beat the boy. You're so used to it that now you absolutely not only expect it, you're going to go looking for the truth instead. And the truth is, yeah, actually, there was a wolf. And for those of you who are keeping score, yeah, that's actually part of the plan too. Convince you that everything is a lie so that even when the truth is out there, you go looking for the lie again. I'm not ignoring you guys. Ozzy says, my proposal was to put a wall from Mexico to British Columbia. That would go through the United States. Border, ditto, eastern end of Interlake region of Northwest Ontario, cutting off Northeast United States. Okay, so you basically you want to close, you want to build a wall between Canada and the United States. And you know what? Mama Carey had a saying, if you don't like Canadians, that's okay. You're wrong. Canadians don't like you. That's okay. You're wrong. So I appreciate and understand. Hudson Bay to Gulf of Mexico, one nation could be very profitable nation state. You know, Ozzy, I would move that wall quite a bit south. Annex Mexico and Canada. In that order, by the way. And then build this absolute monstrosity of a wall along the southern Mexican border. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, I'm still subscribed to Exiled. I don't know what you're asking there, unless it was just a joke. As a matter of fact, she was live last night. I'm going to be making a phone call just after I wrap up the stream here in about 30 minutes. I'm behind schedule. In about 30 minutes, and I better be hearing a no or an honest yes. Old Soviets told us government lies. You know it's a lie. They know you know. They are lying. You also know that too. Yeah, it's like a big joke. Thank you, Totes. I appreciate that. Um, and yeah, it really is. You're so used to it being a lie that even when it's the truth, you go looking for the lie that doesn't even exist this time. I gotta. Okay, good. Everything's fine. Sorry, guys. I had to make sure that the um share screen share was actually working. All right. So on the subject of looking for the lie, first of all, I'm guilty. When New York started, I automatically assumed that this was a lie. Not a lie, but very much a misinterpretation or miscommunication or mistake of some sort. And I even speculated probably a whole lot of lying too. That something happened on the train and people are lying to make it sound worse than it really is. And I was getting ready to go look for the lie, but I was at work at the time, so I couldn't go looking for the lie just yet. By the time I got home, they already had a person of interest that is now just the suspect. Um, on the subject of looking for the lie, people are looking for the lie in a major international incident without asking themselves if it's actually true. Yeah, I'm talking about that. You've been programmed to think that everything is a lie. Your first instinct is to go looking for the lie. And if it's not there, some of y'all are looking that much harder to find it. Whoever lied to you didn't lie to you. But you'd have to be fucking retarded to lie to me about being lioness. Like, what? What kind of fucking retard are you? Okay, folks, don't lie to me about being somebody that's subscribed to me or somebody else. I can check. That's a absolutely. I don't know what kind of malfunction you've got to have to lie to me about that. You've got to have major malfunction, or you're mentally ill. I can forgive mental illness as long as I actually know about it. Again, I can fix anything if I know the truth. All right. So I'm going to have to wrap this up after only an hour and a half because I fucked up pretty hard this time. One moment, folks. Ozzy. Hey, Phil. You're just in time to catch the wrap up. Vil is also an example of how I fucked up. I didn't send notifications over Discord this week because, oh my god, everything's so fucked up. It started with using last week's canceled uh, afternoon stream because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, this must be the next one. No, fuck, gotta fix it. Oh, so Ozzy, I just dropped enough into the chat so that you can email me. Please do. And if you sense a little bit of hate and malcontent, no, not a little, a whole lot. Moving right along. Okay. Dadislav. Act. Hi, Bernie. You're seeing the shit show that is my live stream. And you two are just in time for me to read from Dadislav, which I didn't pull up because I never do anymore because I'm so used to having read the whole thing. All right. Oh, yes. Penalties. Okay. Title 5, Penalties, Section 4. Any person who willfully ignores any part of this act may be, upon first violation, fined not more than $100. Upon second and subsequent violations, $500. Upon fourth and subsequent violation, incarcerated not more than 23 months and 28 days and $1,000 fine. This includes failure to carry as required, carrying as prohibited, and use of terminology contrary to this act by anyone in a professional capacity. Failure to carry at the discretion of a court may be waived on a payment of a $10 fine not more than 3 times. Okay. Little coup de grace there. Before you say First Amendment, First Amendment does not protect your right to yell fire in a crowded theater when there is in fact no fire. Actual fucking quote right there. All right. So you fucked up once. Okay, fine. You pay a $10 fine, you go away. Fuck up 2 more times. If it's the 4th time you're in front of this particular judge and he pretends that he didn't notice the other 3 times, well, yeah, okay. The judge screwed up. He can pay the fine. You do it 3 times with one judge, and then you do it one more time with a different judge. And the other judge didn't notice the other 3 times you fucked. Oh, okay. He made a mistake. Maybe he pays the fine. You notice I said maybe, not does. All right. That's and that's a reality of the world. Traffic court runs more or less the same way. You cannot felony out from failure to carry as required. It can't be done. It's specifically written that way. Matter of fact, I've been thinking about rolling that incarceration to basically a year and a half, 18 months. And the $1,000 fine is half a felony. Okay, that's easy. Carrying as prohibited. That one's easy too. You're not allowed. You are an exempt person, and you had a .357 revolver. You're not supposed to be carrying a gun. What? You're not complying with the law. Still can't felony out. It's the use of terminology contrary to this act by anyone in a professional capacity section that causes so much trouble. Use of terminology. This is a reference to assault weapons, machine guns, primarily. The news will say assault weapon each and every fucking time. Assault weapons under Datislav has a very specific definition: automatic and or burst fire capable, detachable magazine bed. Machine guns has a very specific definition: continuous feed mechanism. I goddamn guarantee you, for the first 6 months after Datislav passes, you're going to hear reporters saying the shooter had an assault rifle or assault weapon. This is an intentional act to terrorize people into repealing the Second Amendment. It has been since the 90s. I could see that back when I was a fucking gun control supporter. Hey, no, that doesn't make sense. That's not an assault rifle. What are you talking about? Assault weapon. What are you talking about? So don't try and tell me that that has not been a continuous attempt to scare people. Don't lie to me. Calm down. Calm down, Karen. Calm down. I've known since the 90s that that was an attempt to scare people. Back in the 80s, I was too young to understand. And by the 90s, I was old enough to understand. Okay. Ozzy, you may have to remind me of that in the future, but I will never call you a liar about it. Ever. Because you are not lying, and you all heard me say it out loud. Okay. So back in the 90s, when they're talking about the shooter had an assault weapon, even then I knew this isn't true. It's not an assault weapon. It's not an assault rifle. What are you talking about? This clause of penalties is to prevent them from even trying something like that. They will, and for the first 6 months, I'm going to grant some grace. You know, you have programmed your brain to call everything an assault weapon, whether it was or not. By the way, the first headline, the first blurt, the first whatever about what happened in New York, assault weapon. Right there in the title. I didn't even get past the title. I didn't have time. All right. I was coming off a break in like 2 minutes, and there's the headline. Oh, shit. Okay. That's how I started out believing that, no, this is bullshit. Now we know not only was it not what the media calls an assault weapon, but it was a subcompact handgun with the serial number scratched off for no sensible reason. But moving on. Also, this guy is clearly not very familiar with guns. He scratched the serial number off the barrel, which Glock does that. For absolutely no reason at all. You could just swap. You could just order a new barrel, $150 to $175, $180 in my case. But because I got a fancy barrel, not a common cheap barrel, or a Glock made barrel for that matter. So I don't for the life of me understand how well I understand how the shooting failed if it really was a jam. He doesn't understand what he's doing. Obviously, because he scratched the serial number off the barrel and then did a shit job of it. Okay, Ozzy says fully automatic, not legal. And it won't be under Datislav any more than it is now. Um, maybe Styx has a point. What point was that, Ozzy? Mail order cannons complete with cannonballs and powder should be a thing. Good armaments and fences make good neighbors. You know, black cannon powder you can't exactly carry around on your hip. I'm just saying. Also, black powder is very dangerous to transport by mail. So you might want to rethink this a little bit, but not as much as it sounds. And by the way, once Datislav passes, um, sooner or later, all guns will have to be transported by the postal guns and ammo would have to be transported exclusively by the United States Postal Service because interfering with the mail is a federal offense. You rob a FedEx driver, you've committed a felony, but it's just common robbery. You rob a mail carrier, and that is a federal offense because you interfered with the mail. Hey, DM's here. Mighty Mouse. Hey, Mighty Mouse, by the way. You didn't take me up on it, but I did it anyway. But I cut it in half. And the shipping for a cannon would be absolutely fucking insane, guys. I'm just saying. Ozzy, I would love to review that. Please send it to me. All right. So, penalties are very, very strict, very, very serious. And you cannot use this law to get out of obeying this law. You can't go out of your way to commit a felony by ignoring this law. That's not how it works. You want a felony out? Go rob a liquor store. All right? Just go and rob a liquor store and be honest about it. Don't try to play me for a fucking fool because it's not going to work. Of special note, the media who's been lying to us for a lot more than 2 years. Yeah, I alluded to this earlier. They've been lying to us since no, that wasn't a lie. In fact, that was actually the truth. No, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt there. Shit. This was like late 90s mass shooting, legitimate mass shooting. No specific target, no specific motive. Semi-automatic weapon. Somebody help me out here. It was a really bad one at the time too. But anyway, this was the late 90s. They used the word assault weapon. It was not an assault weapon. Could not have been an assault weapon, and there's not a mistake here. This was not an accident. So, at least since the 90s. They're going to continue to try to gaslight you into believing this shit. And no, you don't get to terrorize the people into passing a new gun restriction law. I'm going to go a little bit further. The reporters at the time weren't even pretending to be nonpartisan. They said, and we need to start addressing this rampant gun violence problem. I'm sure it was going on before that, guys. But that's the time I noticed. That's when I started to catch on. Okay. Ozzy's talking about liquor stores in Canada having an airlock. You know, guys, I don't think he's joking. Or not entirely joking. And oh yeah, by the way, robbing a liquor store in Canada is also a federal offense. Thing about a federal offense is the standard of evidence is much lower. Just saying. So he's not joking. All right. Get home bag stuff. Because I forgot to do anything with this. You know, I can't keep talking about the same pieces without getting really redundant. So I'm going to talk about everyday carry. I'm going to tell you about my own everyday carry. Mine is a Glock 22, a folding trench knife, and a multi-tool. It's a Gerber. Ever since the Gerber division regained its autonomy from Fiskars, they've gotten way, way better. Almost as good as they were before Fiskars bought them out. And at the end of the day, that multi-tool is never very far from me. Not until I sleep, at least. The folding trench knife is, first of all, because of the knuckles part, it fits perfectly into the pouch. You could get a different pouch. That's fair. But it is an assisted opener. And that is the most important part. Pocket knife, multi-tool, gun. That's my everyday carry. I don't even carry pepper spray every day because I can't find pepper spray that's small enough to fit into the pouch. And I could put it in my pocket, but then there's a danger of it accidentally activating in my pocket, and I don't want that. Otherwise, I would. Yeah, okay. So Ozzy was not joking about those airlocks. And sadly enough, I believe him because I know a couple of pot dispensaries in California is the antechamber, the thing you go through on your way from the outside of the building to where they sell the pot is a double lock configuration. It's a push button thing behind the counter. The outer door is actually not locked. The inner door is. And it is overpressured in there. It's not actually an airlock. It's an overpressure. So that if you smell bad or whatever, you don't cause problems through the rest of the store. Damn. I gotta pee so bad. It's not even funny, guys. So that is my get home bag, or my everyday carry. And your everyday carry stays with you even when you've grabbed your get home bag. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here, guys, because A, I gotta pee. B, there's some other things going on that involving Papa Carey and phone calls and doctors. So I want to thank everybody who made it. No, I'm going to leave it on. And I will see you in a week. No afternoon live stream and no premiere this week because it's processing still after 36 hours. All right. Keep calm and mandatory carry on.